afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's having a beautiful day today. It's beautiful outside. Uh, it's a Sunday, and I just wanted to take the time to read. Happy Father's Day to everybody, to every good father out there. Um, it'd be funny to say Happy Father's Day to the Most High, but essentially this is a nice holiday of appreciation. But in essence, we need to appreciate our beloved mothers and fathers who go out their way to make sure that we are okay. All right, to make sure that their children are safe and 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 are good. So the gratitude, in essence, the gratitude is not. When I think about Father's Day, the gratitude is not. I'm not seeking gratitude, but I pray that love is understood each and every day. So, anyways, let me just go on and read. I'll start in chapter 24 after I make a prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done as it is in heaven, so will it be on earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, the power, forever and ever. In your name, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. Amen. Lord, I pray that I continue to receive the eyes, to have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the heart of understanding, to be within your kingdom, to be able to share your love, and to be able to guide and plant a seed into others, and let my fruit, bear righteous fruit, Lord. And let my seed, the seeds that I place, help others on their own journey that is given by you, Lord. And let your kingdom grow, and let all of your people be healed in their bodies and their minds. Let us all learn to forgive and to understand how to live and walk in righteousness, so that your kingdom may be increased. Amen. All right. Let me just go ahead. 24. Why, seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty, do they that know him not see his days? Some remove the landmarks. They violently take away flocks and feed thereof. They drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hide themselves together. Behold, wild asses in the desert. Go they forth to their work, rising betimes for prey. The wilderness rising betimes for prey. The wilderness, food for them, for their children. They reap every one his corn in the field, and they gather the vintage of the wicked. They cause the naked to lodge without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. They are wet with the showers of the mountains, and embrace the rock for want of shelter. They pluck the fatherless from the breast, and take a pledge of the poor. They cause him to go naked without clothing, and they take away the sheaf from the hungry, which make oil within their walls, and tread their wine presses, and suffer thirst. So they anoint themselves within their walls. Tread their wine presses. And suffer thirst. Interesting. Men groan from out of the city, and the soul of the wounded crieth out. Yet God layeth not folly to them. There are those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. The murderer rising within the light killeth the poor and needy. The eye also of the adulterer waiteth for the twilight, saying, No eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. In the dark they dig through houses, which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light. For the morning to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. It's a lot of italicized words in there. Let me read that again without that. For the morning to them, even as the shadow of death. If no, the terrors of the shadow, if no, the terrors of the shadow of death. Very interesting. Something to think about. Let me continue. He is swift as the waters. Their portion is cursed in the earth. He beholdeth not the way of the vineyards. Drought and heat consume the snow waters. Drought and heat consume the snow waters. The grave have sinned. The womb shall forget him. The worm shall feed sweetly on him. He shall be no more remembered, and wickedness shall be broken as a tree. He evil entreateth the barren, beareth not, and doeth not good to the widow. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He riseth up, and no man is sure of life. Man, italicized. Though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. And if it be not so, who will make me a liar and make my speech nothing worth? Bildad. Okay. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, Dominion and fear are with him, and he maketh peace in his high place. in his high places. Is there any number of his armies? And upon whom does not his light arise? How then can man be justified with God? Or how can be clean that is born of a woman? Behold, even to the moon, and it shineth not. Ye, the stars are not pure in his sight. How much less man, a worm, and the Son of Man, a worm? But Job answered and said, How hast thou helped him that is without power? But that's such italicized. There's a lot of italicized words in the book of Job here in these chapters. And this is part of my raw commentary, right? So, without that, let me read that again in 26. But Job answered and said, How hast thou helped without power? Let's take the italicized words out. How hast thou helped without power? Savest thou the arm that hath no strength? How hast thou counseled him that hath no wisdom? And that's lots of italicized words. Read it without it. How hast thou counseled no wisdom? And hast thou plentifully declared the thing as it is? To whom hast thou uttered words? And whose spirit came from thee? Dead are formed from under the waters, and the inhabitants thereof. Hell is naked before him, and destruction hath no covering. He stretcheth out the north over the empty place, hangeth the earth upon nothing. He bindeth up the waters in his thick clouds, and the cloud is not rent under them. He holdeth back the face of his throne, spreadeth his clouds upon it. He hath compassed the waters He hath compassed the waters with bounds, until the day and night come to an end. The pillars of heaven tremble and are astonished at his reproof. He divideth the sea with his power, and by his understanding he smiteth through the proud. By his spirit he hath garnished the heavens. His hand hath formed the crooked serpent. Lo, these are parts of his ways, but how little a portion is heard of him. But the thunder of his power, who can understand? Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, As God liveth, who hath taken away my judgment, and the Almighty hath vexed my soul. All the while my breath in me, and the Spirit of God in my nostrils. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. God forbid that I should justify you till I die. I will not remove mine integrity from me. My righteousness I hold fast, and will not let it go. My heart shall not reproach, so long as I live. Let mine enemy be as the wicked, and he that rises up against me as the unrighteous. For what the hope of the hypocrite, though he have gained, when God taketh away his soul? Will God hear his cry when trouble cometh upon him? Will he delight himself in the Almighty? Will he always call upon God? I will teach you by the hand of God, which is with the Almighty. Will I not conceal? Behold, all ye yourselves have seen it. Why then are ye thus altogether vain? This, the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors, they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring, if his children be multiplied for the sword, let's take the italicized words out, for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He opened his eyes, and he is not. Terror takes hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth. And as the storm hurleth him out of his place, for God shall cast upon him and not spare. He would fain flee out of his hand. Men shall clap their hands at him, and shall hiss him out of his place. Okay. Surely there's a vein for the silver, and a place for gold, they find it. Iron is taken out of the earth, and brass is molten of the stone. He setteth an end to darkness, and searcheth out all perfection. The stones of darkness and the shadows of death. The flood breaketh out from the inhabitants. Another long italicized. Even the waters forgotten of the foot. They are dried up, they are gone away from men. Let me try reading that without. The flood breaketh out from the inhabitants. Forgotten of the foot. They are dried up, they are gone away from men. As for the earth, out of it cometh bread, and under it is turned up as it were fire. The stones of it, the place of fat sapphires, and it hath dust of gold. A path which no fowl knoweth, and which the vulture's eye hath not seen. The lion's whelps have not trodden it, nor the fierce lion passed by it. He putteth forth his hand upon the rock. He overturneth the mountains by the roots. He cutteth out rivers among the rocks, and his eyes see every precious thing. He bindeth the floods from overflowing. And hidden bringeth he forth to light. But where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living. The death saith, it not in me, and the sea saith, it not with me. And it cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed the price thereof. It cannot be valued with the gold of Ophir, with the precious onyx or the sapphire. And once again, Ophir, it's one of the four rivers that stream from Eden, right? That was split off into four. The gold and the crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it shall not be for jewels of fine gold. And that's all italicized too. Let me try it without. The gold and the crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it, jewels of fine gold. Interesting. No mention shall be made of coral or of pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. Whence then cometh wisdom, and where the place of understanding, seeing it is hid from the eyes of all living, and kept close from the fowls of the air. Destruction and death, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears. God understandeth the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof, for he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven, to make the weight for the winds, and he weigheth the waters by measure. When he made a decree for the rain, and a way for the lightning of the thunder, then did he see it and declare it. He prepared it, yes, and searched it out. And unto man he said, Behold, the fear of the Lord, that is, the fear of the Lord. Let's take the is out of that italicized. The fear of the Lord, that wisdom, and to depart from evil, understanding. And to depart from evil understanding. Behold, the fear of the Lord, that wisdom, and to depart from evil understanding. Okay. 29. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, Oh, that I were as months past, as God preserved me. Oh, that I were as months past, as the days God preserved me. When his candle shined upon my head, by his light I walked darkness. As I walked in the days of my youth, when the secret of God upon my tabernacle, when the Almighty yet with me, my children about me, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil. When I went out to the gate through the city, I prepared my seat in the street. The young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged arose and stood up. The princes refrained talking and laid hand on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved to the roof of their mouth. When the ear heard, then it blessed me, and when the eye saw, it gave witness to me. Because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless. And him that had none to help him. And none to help him. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me, my judgment as a robe and a diadem. I was eyes to the blind, and feet to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and the cause I knew not I searched out. And I break the jaws of the wicked, and pluck the spoil out of his teeth. Then I said, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply days as the sand. My root spread out by the waters, and the dew lay all night upon my branch. My glory fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. Unto me gave ear, and waited, and kept silence at my counsel. After my words they spake not again, and my speech dropped upon them. And they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide for the latter rain. I laughed on them, they believed not. In the light of my countenance they cast not down. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one comforteth the mourners. 30. But now, younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Ye whereto the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes, and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, caves of the earth, and the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. Children of fools, ye children of base men, they were viler than the earth. And now am I their song. Yes, I am their byword. They arbor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face, because he hath loosed my cord and afflicted me. They have also let loose the bridle before me. Upon my right hand rise the youth. I'll take that italicized out. It says, upon right rise the youth. They push away my feet, and they raise up against me the ways of their destruction. They mar my path. They set forward my calamity. They have no helper. They came as a wide breaking in. Let me read it with the italicized on that. They came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters. In the desolation, they rolled themselves upon me. They rolled themselves. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul as the wind, and my welfare passeth away as a cloud. And now my soul is poured out upon me. The days of affliction have taken hold upon me. My bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews take no rest. By the great force of my disease is italicized. It says, by the great force of my disease is my garments changed. But let me take that out. By the great force is my garments changed. It bindeth me about as the collar of my coat. He hath cast me into the mire, and I am become like dust and ashes. I cry unto thee, and thou dost not hear me. I stand up, and thou regardest me. Thou art become cruel to me. With thy strong hand thou opposest thyself against me. Thou liftest me up to the wind. Thou causest me to ride, and dissolvest my substance. For I know thou wilt bring me death, and the house appointed for all living. Howbeit he will not stretch out hand to the grave, though they cry in his destruction. Did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was my soul grieved for the poor? When I looked for good, then evil came. And when I waited for light, there came darkness. My bowels boiled and rested not. The days of affliction prevented me. I went mourning without the sun. I stood, I cried in the congregation. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to the owls. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. My harp also is to mourning, and my organ into the voice of them that weep. Oh, we're at the 30 minutes mark. All right, well, that's the end of 30. And I will start 31 on my next video. So that was chapters 23. Well, technically, that was chapters 24 to 30. I hope this was a tough read because there's a lot of italicized words. Like half of the sentences and some of them were italicized. So I wanted to, for myself, discern and read it with the italicized words, but also read it without, because there was just so much in that were italicized that maybe if you just read it without them, you have a more hopeful understanding of what the author was trying to reach out to the people who read these. Right. So anyway, that was very interesting, and so I apologize if there's slight confusion in the way I may have read today, more than most days. But I also urge for you to read and read this over yourself as well. Because reading this is like reading poetry, and when you have poetry, you don't always want to add words to poetry. If someone gives you poetry and reads it to you, and you add words to it, you might take away the very thoughtfulness that was placed in it, right? I think that's the best word for that. Anyway, I thank you for whoever reads this, and I pray that you read this on your own. And if there's anything that you can that may come to you that may be revealed to you by the Lord, then I would love to hear. But yeah, that was a tough read. But anyway, thank you everybody, and you have a wonderful day.